kid go home eggs throw father attitude. Meet girl next day. Sean the boyfriend, bully, quarterback, comes up and picks a fight. Spider-Man high school shot notes. 4-8. Kid goes home. A fire starts in the kid's room. The boy's father comes runs into the fire takes Eric out. 3B. 5A. Kid at hospital sat upset, sitting. First his friend stops by Kevin. Cassie is concerned. Leads to him going outside, gripping the railing, and the wheel of the car vibrates. 601. The kid goes to the party. Eric comes in, grabs a cup of it. He stays still for a moment. The noise around him weakens and then he sees her. Cassie. He walks up to her. Eric. Hi, how are you doing? E greater than better. Thanks for the invite. Talk close personal. At 2. Sean bullies Eric friend. Cassie. Sean stop it. He's had a few. Eric shoves Sean away from Kevin. So come on Cassie, everyone knows these two freaks burned down the gym. Just like you tried to burn down your house. Eric. The only one acting like a freak right now is you Sean. Look around. The faces of the party. Does anyone in here look like they care about what you think? Sean walks away. S greater than this isn't over punk. At 3. Cassie apologizes to Eric. Eric leaves the house. As he walks away from the party, Sean attacks with a baseball bat. Eric takes 2 punches but then retaliates by grabbing the bat with his right hand and pushing Sean away with his left. More like a strong shove actually. Sean gets upset and tries to tackle him, but Eric grabs Sean, lifts him in the air and drops him down. X. Now I was thinking of having the kid fight multiple opponents. But that's not right. It's sort of cheesy and we need to sustain peripheral sense of exclusion and questioning. Essentially the medium extends after this and pushes forward. 4B. John hasn't been in protective custody and now his girlfriend's missing. Bruce the FBI guy is interested in the high school fire. He goes in and sees the damage done by the lightning strike. But it's not a lightning strike. It's one of those preset moments where in sequence you get a controlled escalation of the story. 7A. Eric finds out how powerful he is. Vibrating, shaking tree behind him. Sense something close in, then fear. He runs unaware. He runs on water. He notes it stops for a moment and smiles slightly. But then he remembers what he's running from. A blade comes out of the trees. Eric starts to run again. He runs so fast he picks up a peripheral displayed rush through the trees. Note Twilight Book 1. End of scene. Short glimpse from behind. Image the kid covering 1/4 to 1/3 of the image height. As shown from behind hopping through the trees. This end image takes less than 2 seconds. Anything more would overload the momentum of the story and scene fake. John Samantha. 8A. Sean death with the truck. It's night Friday, November 1992. The young teenage boy is sitting alone in the back of his truck. He's parked by the woods and drinking beer from a glass bottle. His name is Sean. He's wearing a red sports jacket and listening to the radio on a cassette player. Sean is thinking of how he screwed up with his girlfriend Cassie. He'd made a complete ass of himself bullying a kid at her party earlier that night. Cassie became furious, and by the time she had finished screaming at Sean, every one of her guests became ashamed of standing by and letting it happen. Sean had bullied many kids in his high school but never got so much as an hour's detention for it. He was the most popular kid in school and his father was a friend of the mayor. Suddenly the radio starts to give out a strange noise. He hits it a couple of times but it doesn't work. The radio shuts down completely. Stupid Japanese honk of junk, he yells. Sean leaves his beer in the car and goes to take a piss. After he finishes his business out by a tree, he turns around and sees that somehow the truck had been turned on its head. While Sean was busy, something had managed to run behind him, lift the 1.5-ton vehicle and drop it back on the ground without making a sound. He approaches the truck and examines it very carefully with his eyes. For a moment he thinks he's dreaming, but then the most excruciating sound he'd ever heard screams out. The radio muffled, distorted and as loud as a horn screams out in a high-pitched tone. The truck's lights go on and flicker, on and up, on and up. The truck engine starts by itself and the wheels start to turn. Sean is shocked. His body jitters with fear. He falls on his ass and crawls away. Van. Taking John anger, we go to war. 5B. Bruce is gathering supplies. 2 black helicopters flying by. Bruce watches from above the school. John is standing behind him. He lifts him up metaphysically with his hand. Then the attack on John. A repeat of the shot where Eric disappears into the woods. Bruce runs away and battles. 6B. The agent in at the crime scene where Sean died. Pretty straightforward from them. Notes for what the fuck Bruce moment. http://www.youtube.com/watch. B equals Q5 Saxpin 1 WK. Imagine the expression you'd get after watching this and then after a couple of minutes start laughing. It's that sort of look where you see but you don't know why this could happen and then you just sort of get a big release of air out of your lungs. And it sounds like a laugh but really it's not. It's just a sad sort of thing that you get. Like you're giving up but you're there at the moment. A lucid view of what in reality. 9A. Eric returns to the hospital where his father is. Greater than first he has a heart-to-heart with his comatose dad. Greater than then he notices Cassie watching him. They talk about it. Cassie greater than I'll go get us some coffee. IAB equals the agent is coming into the hospital. He has a team of men with him. The girl is confused and remembers him from the stadium collapse. A collapsed wing at the stadium. Cassie, what's going on? She's looking at him as he rushes by. See, agent, my friend is in there. Eric gets taken by the police. 2AB equals Eric is carried to the police station. One of the masked men is watching from the hospital rooftop. Eric gets taken to the interview room, where Bruce interrogates him. 3AB equals Cassie asks a Sergeant Bruce and Sergeant meet at stadium. What is going on? We suspect your friend in the murder of a boy named Sean Burns. See, Sean is dead. She has S look of realization on her face. Eric interview with Agent Bruce. Their conversation is unique to the story. Maber add in clip of I burned it clear statement equals greater than then visualization equals greater than it's in me. The boy with the element. Speeded up view of the infusion. Note, underworld. Blood memory. Eric notices that the mirror glass cracks. Then it starts. A police department wall. Kaboom, a 4-based hit. Limited amount of fire. Remember its peripheral to power and magic. The explosion at the police station. Then the camera moves to Cassie who was at the hallway. She and Sergeant Harris. Sergeant recently promoted from detective. Eric hears the explosion from the interview room. E greater than I have to get out there. Bruce greater than you're staying right here where I can see you. Then he goes on the radio. Walkie-talkie. Eric kicks the interview desk of its hinges, cracking his cuffs free. The agent looks at him. Eric jumps through the cracked glass, breaking it, shattering. He's in the next room. This frames a change of space and light tone. Eric runs into action. IB AB equals then finally do you see Eric in action and you can use the more powerful set of ideas. Cassie down on the ground. A blade is over her, swinging its blades like a helicopter. Eric throws a mini spear at it. Then he stands in front of her, frame from the back, ready for bad E, and now get the show of moments. Greater than John. Next shot. Samantha in the enemy camp. Samantha is inside. The prologue set of info. You know, a lot of people keep talking about the 70s or the 80s as if there was any significance to which decade it is. Styles are reference, movies, trends. Overall, that's a lie. The truth is that if you look at most major trends in the last couple of decades, you'll see that's the sixes that are relevant. 1996, 2002, 2008 and soon 2014. Those are the years where trends are set. That is the appropriate time to show or debut this story. Sam wakes up in a cement-walled room. Dark.